Skugsidik, Wisichamwe, Anyab Chugik, Jacob Moore, Anyab Chugik, Akamiratam, Thanatam, Lakota, Dakota. Good morning, my name is Jacob Moore. I am a citizen of the Thanatam Nation in southern Arizona. I'm the Vice President and Special Advisor to President Crow on American Indian Affairs here at Arizona State University. I want to welcome all of you, those that are here in the room, and also we have many number of people that are joining us online. So thank you for joining us for the virtual segment of today's program, which is the 2024 Doing Research in Indigenous Communities Conference, one that we've been doing consistently year over year, I think since 2016 or 2017. So we have an exciting, really thought-provoking agenda for you both today and a student component tomorrow. So on behalf of President Crow and Arizona State University and all those that were part of the planning committee and our funder, Arizona Biomedical Research, ABRC, who has consistently funded this program throughout the years, welcome, again to Arizona State. We have a lot of visitors with us that are not within kind of our ASU circle. We've always tried to make this event really open to what's happening, in terms of research within higher education as it relates to tribal communities, not just within our own silo of Arizona State University, but beyond, beyond our own institution. So I do want to recognize Dr. Myra Parker, who is with us here in person from University of Washington, who has been an active member of our planning committee. If you want to please stand and be recognized, I appreciate your being here. So. We also have Agnes Adakai from the University of Arizona, from their School of Public Health as well. And now I'm going to mess this up because I'm going to skip somebody. But I do appreciate the fact that, we've always reached out to other colleagues like Teresa Ambo, who is in Southern California, I think now at UCLA, wasn't able to join us. So we've also had Dr. Warren, who's now at Johns Hopkins, but was at UND in the past. And so there's a lot of thought, that goes into the planning process for this event, with the understanding that, this is an opportunity for us to really delve into these concepts around what does it mean to do research within tribal communities. And in this, I want to keep these relatively short so that we can get into the program, but I also just wanted to set the context in terms of what, we understand not only in the work, but also beyond, our own communities. I have the privilege of really working for an institution that is number one in innovation, and that sounds, kind of, I don't know, it's a joke in some ways. I shouldn't say that. I'm supposed to represent the president's office, but it's like we always say number one in innovation 10 years ago. It's like, well, what does that mean? And what are we, how do you envision that or imagine that? But the fact of the matter is that, at least among our native students from, 1995, we had 800 students, American Indian students, who are now up to 4,000. Again, self-identified, 2 or more races. But the fact of the matter is that on average, we're graduating probably 600, 700 American Indian students a year, with a bachelor's, master's, PhD, law school, a whole variety of programs and dynamic, work happening across the institution, with the full support of our president, who is very much focused on this idea of education equity, that every student should have an opportunity, regardless of their race or their income or the community that they come from, to go to college. And to put that in context, I also have the privilege of sitting in on the senior management, council meetings to hear directly from our boss, from President Crow. And we just happened to have one of those meetings yesterday. And I'm just going to, give you an abbreviated overview in terms of what President Crow talked about, because I think it's important for us to think about, what we do in terms of higher education. What he shared with us is that when you look at the demographics across the United States in terms of income levels, opportunities or lack of it, health status, quality of life is that the country is divided into really three major groups, this trifurcation of status, and that the top 3%, that 1/3 at the top, is really driving the economy and, thriving in the United States. Their income levels are increasing, their healthcare standards are increasing, their longevity is increasing, and again, they're the primary drivers of our economy. Interestingly, 95% of that group are college graduates. So it provides some indication of what, what college can be or an education can do in terms of equity within our own family or within our own communities. That middle group, which we've always known, I think historically as the middle class, is losing ground. They're doing okay, and he said that's typically representative of even the European countries kind of fit in that same category. But they're holding their own, but they too are losing ground in terms of their income levels, their opportunities. And then the bottom group, the bottom third, are losing ground. I probably shouldn't be getting emotional about it, but I know that this is where our communities are. It's not only just income level, but longevity, opportunity for education, not those same opportunities for building their how would you describe it? I guess their own building wealth, within their own families and their own communities, and oftentimes in debt versus building their nest egg. So, and more likely, we see the other challenges that come along with poverty and those issues, such things as substance abuse and fentanyl use, and the devastation of fentanyl, and more likely in that bottom quartile or that bottom 1/3 as well are those groups most adversely impacted. And when we think about institutions of higher ed, we have a privilege to do what we do, that we have that opportunity, and perhaps many of us are in that upper quartile as college graduates and having opportunities, but we know that we have families at home that don't. And so I think there probably isn't a person in this room that isn't dedicated to trying to build some social equity and justice within our own families, with our own communities. And so when we think about what these institutions are established for, it is to be those problem solvers, to be those that are kind of boats in the water, as President Crow described, in 10-foot waves, not trying to go into the harbor and hang out, until the waters calm down. But also, and something similar that we did during the pandemic is, there's a job to be done, and it's important for us to be, charting a course and staying on course. And so, certainly, technology, research, opportunities around CHIPS Act or, NSF or climate change, those things are all important. And as President Crow would describe it, is that we're not, we can't solve everything, but what we can do is provide that technical assistance and that support in terms of how those problems can be solved. Is that we are engineers of problem solving within our institutions. So why, we too also have our limitations in terms of what we can do. The fact of the matter is that we're perfectly positioned to really think deeply and hard about how do we address these issues. And this is what higher education is about. It's about, solving problems and being that entity that is willing to chart the waters during times of division, during times of contention, but not to focus on the division or the contention, but to focus on the opportunity and to recognize that the privilege that we have to do what we do. And that's what today is about, and tomorrow, is to recognize, the sacredness of the work that we do, and to, be good neighbors and strengthen one another as we go about, these events with the understanding that you're all involved in your own work and have the opportunity to hear from others and to network. We always try to make sure that we have network time involved, so that you have an opportunity to learn from one another and not just from our panels or our speakers or, maybe here for lunch, which is always an opportunity for us to, to sit and visit. So again, we welcome you and we appreciate your joining us and appreciate the opportunity to at least offer my own perspective of, why these types of events are important. We're in the middle of finals, probably hard for students, hard for faculty. It's always hard to put together these events when we have, so many other things going on, but we also recognize the importance of why we do these gatherings, and that there is greater strength in doing this work collectively versus feeling like we're the only one out there, doing the work within our own space. So again, honored to join you today and to have you join us. And again, we look forward to having a good day. So thank you again for being here today. Thank you. Okay. And again, I always want to make sure that this isn't all dystopian. There's so much great opportunity for us, and we look forward to all of the positive work and the things that we have happening in our community that really strengthen what we're all doing and the opportunity to work together.